Our ethos is tennis in an English garden, so we're just trying to create that kind of English garden pop.
Probably test all the courts, probably best part of over 35,000 times.
That's incredible. We want to have a positive impact on the environment.
How we maximise every available space, from the vertical to the tree canopy to the ground cover.
We're kind of keeping the plant at wilting point for over 3 weeks, so it's a very fine balance between being alive and being dead.
Goodness me. World famous for its grass tennis courts, the All England Lawn Tennis Club in Wimbledon, South London, bursts into colour in June ahead of the championship starting. I'm Claire Venice from BBC Gardener's World magazine, and we've been given exclusive access here to go behind the scenes ahead of the championship starting. I'll be talking to some of the gardening experts and ground staff here as they prepare for the championships. But first, let's look around. I'm now stood by the Rose Arbour, and I'm delighted to be joined by head gardener Martyn Falconer. Hello, Martyn. Now, this is an iconic part in the centre, really, here at Wimbledon. The Rose Arbour. How long has the Rose Arbour been here?
It's been here as long as I can remember, so I've been here nearly 26 years, so it's always been around.
They're in bloom now. What rose is this?
This is New Dawn, so lovely scented rose with a kind of pinky turn into white flower. So there's a scent hopefully you can pick up.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, the busy time for you at the moment, just ahead of the championships. Yeah. What's top of your list? What are you working on at the moment?
We're just trying to get the rest of the grounds tidy. The players start turning up at the weekend. So we're just about all the final touches now, getting everything into place, finishing containers, and hanging baskets start turning up today. So that's quite big. There's a couple of hundred hanging baskets to hang, so
that's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. I mean, we're stood here also by an absolutely gorgeous planter. Yeah. These get planted up just before the championship.
Our ethos is tennis in an English garden, so we're just trying to create that kind of English garden pop. So for everyone turning up at the championships, it looks great, and in hopefully all in flower.
And there's obviously a theme as well with the colours.
Yeah, we're kind of governed a little with green and purple, so it's a nice palette to work with, and we can introduce sort of other bits and pieces around that. But yeah, that's our staple.
So what colours do you introduce? If you're allowed to introduce a colour, what colour do you go for?
Yeah, we don't go crazy. There's nothing too garish, but we've got some yellows behind us in some of the petunias there. We use red in the baskets in the southern end, and that's probably about as garish as we go. And then it's all those kind of pastels and pinks and purples and yellows, just to kind of introduce that pop that makes it feel a bit more like an English garden.
Well, we've come round to the hill, unofficially known as Henman Hill, and behind us is part of the living wall outside court number 1.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
How long has the wall been there?
That was part of the number 1 roof project, so since 2019. So it's been a few years now, quite well established.
Yeah, and how many plants are in the wall?
Originally there was 14,500 plants.
And what varieties have you got?
Got quite a few different varieties in there, a bit of a year-round interest. So we've got heucheras, we've got hebes, we've got liriopes, we've got Euronymous, we've got some ivy in there, so it's quite a good mix. So you're getting a bit of evergreen year-round interest, and then some nice flowering bits for the championships.
Well, that's a lot of plants to look after. How do you keep them alive?
It's a soilless system, so it always needs to be on the damp side, so it's watered 4 times a day, just small intervals, 2 minutes at a time. Every watering's got a feed in it as well. Now,
I mentioned we're on the hill here. What plans are there for the future here?
Yeah, so we're working on a hill project, so for 2027 championship. So this is just going to get slightly re-landscaped, lots of new soft landscaping, lots of new trees. The big oak at the back, we're looking to kind of protect and make a feature of that. So there'll be a lovely pergola around the oak tree.
So lucky to now be on centre court. Such a special place to be. And I'm delighted to be joined by Head of Courts and Horticulture, Neil Stubley. Hello, Neil.
Hi, how are you doing?
What grass do you grow here for the courts?
So we use 100% dwarf perennial ryegrass, with it being a vertical growing grass rather than a lateral growing. You've got less thatch build-up and fibre.
So tell us about how you look after the court then. So it's mown, quite close now. Is this actually championship ready?
Yep, so this is playing height now. The only thing left to do now is to slightly dry it down. So it's got its colour. This will be the colour for the start of the championships. It's 8mm, which is our playing height. The court's now marked out, ready to go. We probably test all the courts, probably best part of over 35,000 times for the championships. Each court has got its own moisture probes in, so we know every 50 mil exactly how much moisture percentage is going through it. And as we water each night, we just top that up. We're kind of keeping the plant at wilting point for over 3 weeks. So it's a very fine balance between being alive and being dead. So it's kind of that tightrope that we've got to walk through the championships.
Goodness me. Well, Neil, you mentioned plants. How many grass plants are there on centre court?
So there is an equation. So perennial ryegrass as a seed, for it to get its European certificate, has to have around 750 seeds per gram. And we're sowing at 85 grams per square metre, and we've got 902 square metres of turf. So with a quick bit of maths, if every single seed germinates, there should be around 54 million plants on centre court at the start of the championship. It's quite deceiving when you look at centre court on the TV. Behind the baselines, because of the way the camera picks up the colour, it looks like the baselines are really worn. The only bits that are completely worn, they're probably the size of side dinner plates. The rest of it is just slightly turned brown, or the leaf part down to the crown has been taken off. But if you then come back 10 days after the championships, most of the grass on the baseline has come back.
Well, that's good to know, because it does look sad towards the end of the championships, and you do feel sorry for that part of grass. So, Neil, if you could give some advice for how we can create a grass tennis court, or our lawns to look as lovely as your grass tennis court here, what advice would you give?
I would say 2 or 3 key tips is not necessarily knowing what sort of soil type you've got, but never allowing it to dry out too much, never letting it to sort of be too wet. So, you know, the short and sharp, right amount of moisture, a good nutritional program, you know, put a granular fertilizer down every sort of 6 to 8 weeks. To get the stripes, you need a mower that's got a back cylinder, but a lot of things I tell people is that once you've cut the grass, in the morning when the dew's on the ground, if you get a broom and you walk up and down with the broom, you'll put those shades in. So if you've got a barbecue coming up and you want to impress all your friends, in the morning, dew broom the court or your garden, get the stripes in, and then you'll get that Wimbledon effect.
Oh, lovely tip.
I'm going to try that now.
I'm going to try that. Along with the floral displays here at Wimbledon, there are also areas that are left to go a little bit more natural. And I'm here with Sustainability Manager Hattie Park. Hello, Hattie.
Hi there.
So why is it important here on site to have more areas that are planted a little bit more naturalistically?
Well, I think ultimately at Wimbledon, we want to have a positive impact on the environment. And obviously that means lots of things for us. That's about decarbonising our site and being more resource efficient. But really as well, it's about creating as many different habitats for nature to thrive. So we want to showcase the natural environment as much as we possibly can. And if we have all sorts of different planted areas, we hope we can find homes for nature of different types across the grounds.
So what happens to the plants that are in Wimbledon on the floral displays at the end of the championships?
Oh, well, at the end of the championships, a lot of plants are donated to local organisations via the Wimbledon Foundation. It's our charity which benefits lots of local charities in the Merton and Wandsworth areas. So organisations come in from a mini to a van and take away the plants, so they go to hospitals, hospices, charities.
Well, we've come to a really special area now. It's the VIP entrance to the Indoor Tennis Centre. And I'm here with lead gardener Robin Murphy. Hello, Robin.
Hello.
Why are we here? What's so important about this area?
Well, I thought it'd be a nice place to bring you to show you how we maximise every available space, from the vertical to the tree canopy to the ground cover. And this is just a perfect example of that. And it also shows how we can achieve the brief of that Wimbledon wow factor while also providing for pollinator species.
I mean, it's been really interesting coming here. Obviously, it's the most gorgeous site and a fantastic place to play tennis.
Yes.
But it's also a wonderful place to come and see plants.
Yes, and that's a message we're really trying to push across, because most people expect it to be all about the tennis, and obviously that is the main driving factor for people coming here. But we're trying to create a nice environment for people to come here too and allow them to unwind and really enjoy nature.
Over 500,000 people are expected to attend Wimbledon this year, to eat a combined amount of almost 2 million strawberries and to enjoy the vibrant floral displays too. So if you're coming to the championships, watching on Henman Hill or viewing from home, take a moment to enjoy this beautiful English garden setting and to appreciate all the work that goes on behind the scenes.